In this particular chapter, Poets and Pancakes, Asoka Mitran, the author, takes us into the early days of movie making in India, and he takes us to a movie making studio in Madras. In Madras, and the name of the studio in this particular chapter is Gemini Studios. And in the very beginning, right at the onset, the author tells us that this particular Gemini Studios was located in somewhere in Madras, and was actually housed in one of the stables of British officer, someone British officer. You will read the text to supplement all this that is provided to you by way of this video. Actually, this particular British official was Robert Clive. Please find out if it is correct from the text. And he introduces us to the different people working in Gemini Studios, and there are different departments in Gemini Studios. There is a story writing department also. And we are also told about how at one point in time an English poet visited Gemini Studio, and the name of the poet is Stephen Spender, whose piece of poetry, an elementary school classroom in a slum, we've already discussed. And he, towards the end, by giving us suggestions to understand that people working in Gemini Studios, how they were even in the beginning, initially enamored of or fascinated by communism, this form of government, and later on they came out of it disillusioned. The author also tells us about a book, very important from examination point of view, written by as many as 6 academicians from different parts of the world, of their fascination with this form of government and how they all came out quite disillusioned. So, to begin with, the author talks of the reason, talks of part of the reason why he titles this account as Poets and Pancakes. In the first paragraph, he tells us part of the reason, and as we proceed through the course of the chapter, we find the other reason why Asoka Mitran titled this particular account as Poets and Pancakes. So Pancakes was actually the brand name of the company from which this particular Gemini Studios bought cosmetics from. Brand name of the company that provided them cosmetics. And as we proceed further, we find that characters, large number of characters, prominent characters in fact, they have literary inclinations. One character is a novelist and poet, besides the fact that he has other aspects to his personality. And many poets visited this particular Gemini Studios at that particular point in time. Hence, we realize the reason why Asoka Mitran titled this particular account as Poets and Pancakes. So, having talked of the exact location of where Gemini Studios was actually located, he takes us immediately to the makeup room of the Gemini Studios. In the second stanza, he straight away takes us into the makeup room of the Gemini Studios, and talks of the fiery misery. What this fiery misery is, we understand.